You've got a brand new rifle right out of the box. Is it important to break in the barrel? I don't know. There are 100 different opinions out there. Some say you should, some say it's unnecessary. Who knows? Nevertheless, I've got a step-by-step process that I take to break in and sight in every one of my brand new rifles, and I'll take you through that process right now. Let's get into the steps that I take to break in a barrel of a brand new rifle and then rough sight it at the same time. Now I say rough sighted because I did a video on the X-Bolt Mountain Pro long range some months ago, and I was talking about fine tuning my rifle, and I mentioned that I had run a box of shells through the rifle and it's time to start fine tuning. We're getting real close. Well, somebody was laughing at me in one of the comments saying that it takes me a box of shells to rough sight in a rifle. Well, no, it doesn't. I'm rough sighting it in and breaking it in at the same time by running a box of shells through it. So that's the amount of shots that I fire to break in a rifle. But let's get into the process here. So first thing we're gonna do, I got to set up in my lead sled here or any sort of gun vise. We've got bore cleaner, we've got gun oil, we've got our 2 rods for the cleaning process. We got one with a copper brush on it and then the other to run the patches through. Here are my patches sized for 22 up to 270. So the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna clean this barrel. I'm gonna take the bolt out. I've got a bore guide and I'm gonna insert in there to protect the bore. Take our patches, I'll put some in this. I'm gonna take our bore cleaner and I'm just gonna wet some of these patches here, because it's gonna take a lot of them. I run a lot of patches through this. So first thing we'll do is we're gonna take our wire brush and we're gonna run it through a few times. Now, we'll take our other rod and we're gonna run some patches through this bad boy. I'm just gonna keep running wet patches through it until it comes out pretty clean. And then once it comes out pretty clean, I'm going to run a couple dry patches through it. Now we ran the bore cleaner through it. I'm gonna run a single oil patch through it and then one more dry patch. So now we're gonna bore sight it here, and essentially all I'm doing is I'm gonna look down the barrel and I'm gonna line it up to the target out there that's at about 40 yards. And it's a big target, so we should be able to hit the board just by looking through the barrel here. This will need to go a little bit left, maybe. All right, that should get me on the board. Let's fire a shot. So we're on the board maybe 4 inches high at about 40 yards. So we're going to repeat this cleaning process after one shot, but I'm gonna also make some adjustments on my scope here. I don't know, I'm kind of guessing at how far I need to go here. We'll start with that. Screw this back on. So I'm gonna repeat this process 4 more times for a total of 5 cleaning and 1 shot sequences. We're gonna go through this sequence again of cleaning, and then we'll make another adjustment on our scope to get it closer to where it needs to be. All right, that's pretty much center of the bullseye with 3 shots. So that's the last scope adjustment I'll need to make until we go back to 100 yards. And now we're just going to 2 more sequences of cleaning and single shots. All right, let's do it again here. Let's fire our last single shot here. So it only looks like there's 3 shots there, but there's actually 5. First shot was that highest one, second shot was the one at the top of the red, and the last 3 are in that same hole in the center. While I'm set up here, I'm gonna go ahead and go through the cleaning process one more time, and then we're gonna jump back to 100 yards. We're gonna shoot 5 3-shot sequences going through this same cleaning process. All right, back here at 100 yards, time to fire off 3-shot groups, but repeating that same shooting and cleaning sequence. So we're gonna do this again 5 times back here with these 3-shot groups. And all the while, we're going to adjust our scope and get that thing closer and closer as we're doing this break-in process. Also, you'll notice I put up a grid target, so it's a smaller target and it'll help me start dialing in my zero as we go here. So let's see what we can do. Well, that first shot was right, and it could be because I pulled it, could be because of the super clean and oiled barrel. But the next two shots were just a tiny bit left and they're about a ½ inch apart, but doesn't matter just yet. That's why we're rough sighting it in. We're gonna fine tune it after this barrel break-in process. So time for the brush, bore clean and oil process one more time. All right, another 3-shot group. I'm not gonna make any adjustments to my scope. We'll fire these and see where we end up. Well, if the audio sounds a lot different, I apologize. My wireless mic battery went dead, so I've got to resort to the shotgun mic. So you may hear a lot of background noise. The interstate is only about 200 yards that way. So yeah, it can get noisy at times, but as I'm letting my barrel cool here, and you definitely want to do that when you're shooting these 3-shot groups, I walked up to take a look at that target, and that first shot was definitely a flyer. I probably pulled it because every other shot is either just a tiny bit left of bull. I'm gonna make an adjustment to the right, move it right, maybe a ½ inch, and we'll see what happens there. And then elevation looks pretty good. I mean, it's between, you know, top of the bullseye and maybe a little higher, but we've got a couple more rounds to go. I'm gonna fire 3 shots here and then 2 more sequences of cleaning and shooting a 3-shot group. Here we go. All right, that looks pretty good on windage. We're pretty much dead center. I may make another adjustment, elevation, maybe a click or 2 up, but really it's close. Again, we're just rough sighting this thing in, and it's more than rough. I mean, it's pretty good, but we've got 2 more sequences of 3-shot group and cleaning process. So let's get going with that. I'm gonna clean this thing up, and then we'll fire 3 more. All right, 1 more round of cleaning, and then we're gonna fire off the last 3 shots. All right, last 3-shot group of the break-in process. All right, let's go take a look at our target, and you can see how we're roughed in. I would say we're roughed in pretty nicely. That's 3 5-shot sequences at 100 yards, so 15 shots during the break-in and rough sighting process. So I would say we're roughed in. Now we can jump back to 200 yards and get it fine-tuned. But we're gonna do that in another video. We're going to head back up there and wrap this one up. That's it, guys. That's my 1-box barrel break-in. Is it overkill? Quite possibly. But I'd rather have overkill than not enough, and it may not even be necessary. I don't know, but it's a process that I've done for years, so I'm going to continue doing it. My rifles tend to shoot really good groups with factory ammo, but that's probably more of a tribute to the accuracy of the Browning X-Bolt rifles. So I don't know. I'll continue to do it, and you know, take what you want out of this. I'd be curious to know how you break in your rifles, if you do it at all, or if you just throw a scope on it, sight it in. Leave me a comment, let me know what you're doing. And be sure to like this video if you did get anything out of it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, it really helps me out. Everybody, I appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you in the next video.